Other news are following tonight. The company behind ShotSpotter is responding to reports that the city is going to end the contract. We reported last night on the mixed response to the news. Critics say the technology does not reduce violence and unfairly targets minority neighborhoods. But supporters say it gets police to the scene when no one wants to call 911.
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson making a ridiculously boneheaded move to end the ShotSpotter contract on this Friday, February, 16th, 2024. Now, there's a lot I want to say. He wanted to do an extension, and there's reasons why it happened. But before I get into all that, first things first, the reason. Some people, I'm sure the extreme minority of people say that the ShotSpotter technology unfairly targets communities of color because the way that the technology works, when there's gunshots heard, these sensors, cameras, whatever, they will detect it and alert the police, and the police show up. Now, I don't know why that's a bad thing. If you got 3 or 4 people that's been shot in the area and the police are able to come and find these people, a lot of times bleeding out right there on the ground, and they can save their lives, why would that be a bad thing? I guess some call that over-policing. How is it over-policing when these communities need it? It's not over-policing. It is the correct amount of policing. Sometimes people don't want to call the police. They're afraid to call 911 or whatever the case may be. There's no need for that when you got ShotSpotter and the police will come out anyway and save lives. Why is that a bad thing? Now, what Brandon Johnson wanted to do was actually extend, quote unquote, extend the contract beyond Friday until after the DNC. Okay. You having the DNC come to town, you want things to be a little bit more secure. Now, if it's important to secure things for the DNC, why is it not important to secure things for regular, everyday, tax-paying Chicagoans throughout the year and not just for that particular time? Now, before I get into anything else, let's check out some footage here. ShotSpotter has responded to what Brandon Johnson is saying to his request for the contract extension. And there's also local leaders who have responded. I will link to everything I'm talking about right now in the description. If you're on IG, visit a link in the bio, go to the corresponding article on the website. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
On Tuesday, Mayor Brandon Johnson said he would give the technology company a 6-month extension, but end the deal after the Democratic National Convention.
Now, late today, multiple sources tell NBC5 ShotSpotter has rejected the city's offer with that extension. So where does it all stand? Let's go to our political reporter, Marianne Ahern. She's joining us now with the very latest. Marianne?
Allison and Stefan, busy afternoon. City Hall has not responded to our repeated calls today. However, several aldermen have spoken with those tied to Sound Thinking, the company that now owns ShotSpotter. Those aldermen are concerned the company will turn off the technology Friday since there's no deal in place.
That's what's going to happen. Okay, look, we are a business. We're not just here to do whatever you want us to do whenever you want us to do it. We have certain rules and protocols. If there's no contract in place, you're not paying us for our service, we're going to go ahead and just turn it off. That's how it's going to be.
ShotSpotter alerts police departments to gunshots fired through acoustic sensors. That company took a stock hit Tuesday after Mayor Brandon Johnson announced he would fulfill a campaign promise and give the company a 6-month extension, but then not renew their deal. The mayor's announcement before he had a deal signed with the company.
The city has lost all its leverage when you make an announcement that you're canceling ShotSpotter and extending it until September without having a signed contract.
Likewise, Alderman Chris Taliaferro is also concerned.
It is a great loss for the city of Chicago.
And I just want to say one thing. This is incompetence, because even if you want to keep ShotSpotter for a certain period of time and then cancel it, why not just, like, what is it, a year contract? Just sign the contract that's going to extend it beyond the DNC, and then after the DNC is over, don't renew. Because it might be going for a year. So if you sign the contract right now, February, until next February, just don't renew it then. Why would you announce that you're not going to renew? See, now you're doing all kind of damage to the company, and the company is not going to like that too much. So they're going to turn the service off and reject the contract offer.
Particularly as we prepare to go into the summer months and as we go into a Democratic National Convention already with a police department that is undersized.
And the summertime is when things really get cracking in Chicago. That's when it's not cold and snowing and all that kind of stuff. That's when the danger really happens. That's when you need ShotSpotter the most, especially since the alderman said right here, you are strained when it comes to your police force.
By at least 2,000 officers.
That's crazy. Now we got more. We have more from some leaders out there in Chicago. Let's check it out.
Community keeps saying, why aren't the police coming out? ShotSpotter has given us that.
We are glad that the mayor is moving us in a different direction.
Mixed reactions to Mayor Brandon Johnson's decision not to renew the contract on the controversial ShotSpotter program.
WGN's Jenna Barnes is joining us live tonight with more on this still developing story. Jenna?
Yeah, Ray and Dina, Mayor Brandon Johnson campaigned on ending ShotSpotter. Some activists say it can lead to police violence, but there is pushback against the mayor's decision tonight. Some say he is taking away a life-saving tool from police.
We need this ShotSpotter.
Tina Hammond lives in Inglewood and has the ShotSpotter gunfire detection system on her block.
I'm not going to say it makes me feel 100% safe, but just knowing that there are other things besides me or my neighbor calling 911, I just think that's very important.
They need the system because at least one thing that I can say is that when you have, what did Alderman say, 2,000 too few officers, you're short 2,000 police officers in Chicago Police Department. You need technology like ShotSpotter to help shore up the losses. You need it. It's required. And if you don't have things like this, you're just going to have more death.
She joined a news conference alongside some alders outside a senior living community, denouncing Mayor Brandon Johnson's decision to end Chicago's contract with the company behind ShotSpotter. Chicago has spent nearly $50 million on the technology since 2018.
At this senior building, I would constantly get calls about shootings. When they implemented ShotSpotter, those calls went down.
Mayor Johnson is fulfilling a campaign promise by ending the city's use of the controversial system. A 2021 MacArthur Justice Center report found nearly 9 in 10 police deployments did not lead to evidence of gun-related crime. Critics say ShotSpotter leads to over-policing of marginalized communities.
This is indeed a win for the city. We want to plan.
That's the dumbest thing in the world, over-policing. Ain't no such thing. Like, the police are going to go where they're needed, especially when you have such a shortage in officers. They're not going to just be in the place just because. That's a dumb thing to say. The police go where they're needed.
Neighborhood by neighborhood, with all our institutions, including the Chicago Police Department, on best practices to make sure that our communities are safer and stronger together.
The city saying in a statement, moving forward, the city of Chicago will deploy its resources on the most effective strategies and tactics proven to accelerate the current downward trend in violent crime. Police Superintendent Larry Snelling has said previously, ShotSpotter saves lives, allowing officers to get to scenes before anyone calls 911.
Absolutely.
We have documented, just through giving officers awards for it, life-saving awards, over 150 incidents where officers have applied tourniquets and life-saving techniques because they were able to get to that scene sooner.
Now, let's talk about this. Some say, well, a lot of the times when the police get dispatched, there's no evidence of a crime. It doesn't matter because you're not always, when somebody calls 911 even, there's not always going to be evidence of a crime or somebody laying on the ground injured. But let's say 10% of the time when ShotSpotter alerts the police of a shooting, people are actually shot when they get there. I mean, that's pretty high. If not for a ShotSpotter and that 10% just didn't happen, you're going to have just more deaths. Your officer right there say 150 times you have tourniquets supplied. And what if that didn't happen? You have those almost as many deaths as were tourniquets supplied. That's a lot of people that would die. So are we trying to save lives? Are we trying to help the community or are we not trying to help the community? What is our purpose? What is our goal?
ShotSpotter's proponents calling on the mayor to reconsider his decision before police stop using the system September 22nd, about a month after the Democratic National Convention.
And again, they are probably going to have their contract cut right away, like this Friday. ShotSpotter said, nah, you guys are tanking our stock price and we're not going to do this. You have no more leverage. We're going to just go ahead and cancel the contract right now. We'll see. I mean, maybe they might try to bring it back. Hopefully for the sake of the city, they bring it back. But as I close, I want to say this. Shout out to the incompetence of the Chicago mayoral office, Brandon Johnson, and whoever is around him. You guys are morons for doing this. This is so dumb. What are you trying to do? Who are you trying to please? You trying to help the community that needs ShotSpotter, or are you just trying to make yourself appear to be virtuous and doing what's right for the community to those who don't live in the community? What is our actual goal here? I can't really tell, and I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? Do you think it's the right thing or the wrong thing to end the ShotSpotter contract? And if it's the right thing, then why was he trying to end it only after the DNC? Why not just end it right now? If it's the right thing to do, why do you need it in the summer when things really get violent and you have 2,000 fewer officers? Why do you need it during the DNC when you want the city to be very secure and safe for all of the leaders and whatnot coming into town? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. This is a ridiculously boneheaded move from Brandon Johnson, and it's incompetent because even if you wanted to end the contract after a certain period of time, why would you telegraph it to the people, tank their stock price, and give up all your leverage? That does not make sense from a logical point of view to do a thing that's illogical in the first place. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.